Hello, 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 hello. Good to see you. You get fairy dust, I get fairy dust. Little Amelie gets fairy dust. The other day I was giving a presentation and I showed my dog at some point and somebody said, I want to take a picture of your dog. I was like, oh, that's so cute. Okay, I have a question for Asking Advanced Pitch. That's me. Here we go. How to navigate two people having different levels of cleanliness in a marriage. My husband um doesn't my husband had a don't lift a finger mom growing up, so I don't expect him to suddenly change. Smart. He's worth it to me even if he doesn't change. That's huge. He will do something if I ask, but he won't notice it on his own. My question is, what can I do to not completely abandon myself, becoming messy like him, and to release resentments of being the one noticing what needs to be done? Any marriage household task wisdom is welcomed. Oh my gosh, you are so ahead of the game already. Um, um, Dan Savage has the we there's no one. We don't want one. We pick somebody that's like 87% or 92%, and then we round them up to our one. And so like this guy is amazing. You love him so much, you know, and you have to round up a little bit because this issue. And what I really love about your question is you already understand. He literally doesn't see it. He literally doesn't see what needs to be done. That is huge. And that sounds like it's already helped you with resentment. It's already helped you not like, oh God, he doesn't see, instead of like, why can't you see it? It's like, oh, he doesn't see it. So that's really, really, really good. Understanding like this is how he was indoctrinated, that this isn't part of his values or anything that he thinks it's important or anything like that. Um, and so he's worth it to you. So um, here's a couple of things. So first of all, you are not going to abandon yourself. You are absolutely going to honor yourself. And one of the first things that comes up to me, can you have like a sacred space? You don't have to call it that, but like your bedroom or another room, a room of your own, or a space in a house, a quarter in a house where you get to have it looking pristine at all times. And, when I do this kind of stuff with my husband, I'm always using humor. And so I'll say like, okay, this is the no you zone. This is, you don't go over here, and then I can say like, okay, where's the area you don't want me to go into? You know what I mean? Like to kind of like play around with it instead of like, get the fuck away from my sacred space. So that's one thing is like I think just knowing that you have a place where you can go sit down and the direction of the chair is on pristine, clean, put away, good. And maybe you can even add to that right now, like because you need some extra nourishing around it. Okay. So another thing that comes up for me is that you may have heard me say this before, but like when I first got married, I didn't understand why the socks would be like a half a foot, like 6 inches away from the laundry basket. Like, I don't understand. Like, what's going on there? And it was bothering me. And I'm just like, okay. And then as I said, and this is so embarrassing if you saw my office right now, but I've got a pile here, I've got a pile over there on the floor because I was going through handouts and stuff. And so that's what I did. And I'm healing it, but I have a repetition compulsion about piles. Like I cannot not have piles, and I'm working on it. Because it's important. Anyway, so I was like, oh, him and his socks, him and it, like, and it's so, just so stupid. It's only 6 inches. And then I'm like looking at my pile of books and then my pile of blank and then my Topo Chico bottle, whatever. Like, Actually, Topo Chico wasn't a thing then, but anyway, or to me, anyway. Okay, so that helped me immediately erase any resentment I had. So it doesn't sound like you have piles, but there is something that you do. I mean, it would be highly unlikely if you didn't. I'm guessing there's something that you do that he kind of like completely overlooks. Like that it is annoying to him, or it could be, but he doesn't, whatever. Or he could do you a service. Like he could, is he, doing the extra mile of like, uh, not something, it's like what, and this is so gendered, so sorry, but like dishes versus the lawn, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not talking about that. I'm like something, the extra mile, like for instance, and again, this is like, there's just something about like, if he would get me gas, like, oh my God, that, thank you. Thank you. It's so good. Or clean my car or something like that, which he does not do. Like it's just not like he doesn't do that. But if he did it, it would help me. Oh, he does that. He goes out of his way. So you're going out of your way to clean the house. Is there something where he kind of goes out of his way to do it? And all I'm talking about is reducing resentment to really get a big picture perspective. Um, and then finally, um, that, and I know this is against the whole like women's labor, like women should be teaching men to do stuff. However, if I'm trying to solve a problem, I might be willing to do it. Now, I'm not going to teach them twice, because if I teach them twice, then I'm chasing adults and I'm trying to be controlling. But it's like, okay, I love you so much. I need help with messiness. Okay. And I understand you do not see it. So what I want to do is I want to show you something. And so it could be the kids' toys, or it could be, the pet area or whatever. Like it could be, or it could be like, this is a bathroom and this is how you clean the bathroom. Like a specific, I understand you do like there were things that like my husband had to teach me some stuff with the computer, so it wasn't like, so that's what I'm talking about. It's like, I understand this is a weakness in your development. And so let me teach it to you, or let me show you how to do your laundry. Maybe you stop doing his laundry or something like that. Again, not punitively, but just to like even the scales and to lose resentment, because the resentment is a marriage killer. Like and it will build up and it will be, so it could be like, okay, now this is your job and you need to do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or whatever, like that. Like this just has to be part of what you do. And I understand you can't see messiness and all of it, and you may not think that it's messy, but I actually need you to do it. I don't think this would be a good idea with things like dishes, or things like picking up things that are laying out because he doesn't see them. But if there could be some job that you hate, like for instance, one of my things that I do, even though I'm not the cat person in my house, I love cats, but I'm not the cat, like this is his cat. I do the kitty litter. I get the food, I do the whole thing. And it's an exchange because he works a ton and it's the least I can do. And when he does it, actually doesn't do it the way that I do it. So I do that, and it's extra, but also it evens out in the wash. If you looked at the big picture, it's like, I don't feel like it's extra. And he thanks me every single time. And it's like, he always says, thank you for letting me have a kitty. You're welcome. Me lugging, and I hate it. I mean, I hate it. I hate it. Don't get me wrong. I hate it. But it's an exchange, he does shit that he hates too. You know what I mean? For me. So maybe something like that, where you could say like, this is you. And And then, so give that a try. Give that, because and I think that maybe looking at it like an experiment instead of like ultimatums or like, oh my God, but because what's so great is that you've already established that he's worth this. He's so worth this. And so you're compassionate, you understand, but the responsibility is unfair and too overwhelming. And so, and I think that just automatic, and so one might say, like somebody else might say, and where can you compromise letting stuff be a little bit messy? But see, this is where me and most people differ, because for some people, a messy house has something to do with trauma, meaning like it's very unnerving, unsettled. It makes people feel unsafe. Order is one of the words on the low, I think it's the second one up. Order is one of the words on Maslow's hierarchy of psychological needs. Order is a psychological need. And so for some of us, it is imperative that we do it. And for some of us, it's like, it's whatever. Again, I'm working on that. So I don't think it's a little thing. And I really think, and my hint is like, I will abandon myself if I allow this. And so there's so many ways to solve this problem that don't involve him having to see the mess. One more thing you could do is like, hey, babe, like to other people, this feels like, a clean house or what, like this is really important to me. And I can't love you the way that I want to love you if I'm in a messy house, and I just can't do it. So maybe it's hiring somebody, maybe, um, so these are just the beginning ways. These are just the beginning threads to follow, and you'll see what works. And how you know something isn't working is the resentment part, And so, and then maybe but I do think it's important that there is some sort of equal division of labor, just not on the same things. And so, and then another thing could be like, can we clean this room together? One of the things that I drag him in, can we make this bed together? It'll just be easier if he makes it with me, and so can we do this together? Oh, just pull that there. And this tag goes down here on the bottom right, which I didn't know until I was a grown ass woman. You know what I mean? So there's, and so your question is so healthy, and I'm so proud of you. So anyway, I do hope that's helpful. And so if you try this experiment and then you're like, because this is going to give you more data, advanced bitches, we always win. We get what we want, or we get more information. And so you're going to get some data here, and it'll give you clues on what are the new things to try and new things to experiment with. So I hope that was helpful. Love you. Bye.